Hello, my name is Noel DeBona. Welcome to Win Today with Noel. How to win elections. Today we're going to be talking about building an organization, how important it is to have that organization in place. You're never going to be able to get away from the fact that you are the candidate of this campaign. So you're the most important part of the campaign. Whether you build this organization or not, or have the people in place to help you with the organization, it all falls back on you, the candidate. So just remember in the back of your mind that I've seen, campaigns and elections with huge organizations, and the candidate doesn't want to get off and do any heavy lifting, doesn't want to work hard at their campaign. They're just relying on that organization. I've seen candidates come out that have a very small organization, but the candidate's willing to do all the work. You have to figure out in your campaign to win your election what you think is important, how many people you're going to have involved in your campaign, there's a variety of ways of acquiring these. So let's start off. It's obviously building an organization and candidate, but your next point person is always going to be your campaign manager. Now, depending on how much funding that you've provided for your campaign and how much you can raise, or how big your election is going to be, you can actually pay this person through your campaign finance. Or you're going to have a volunteer, somebody that you really, really can trust. Could be somebody from the outside, could be somebody in the inner circle to be your campaign manager. I've seen some organizations do co-campaign managers where they have 2.2 persons or even 3. That campaign manager is the person is your right-hand person to help you and lean towards throughout the election up till election day. They're going to go out and they're basically going to be the person that just operates the entire organization. What's really important is in figuring out where you want to have a campaign headquarters. Now, in a smaller election, you might not be able to afford to have and go out and lease out space for the campaign headquarters. You may be willing to use inside your house, in your cellar downstairs. You can start to put desks in there. You can put maps up on the walls. You can start to get a printing. You might not be able to get to a campaign headquarters. What's important about the headquarters is, though, you'll be out in your town, in your city, and you'll be able to have some type of banners on the outside, and people could be driving by and seeing this headquarters and go, wow, this is a legit operation over here. We're actually working. Other candidates that are going to be working against you, opponents might be saying, wow, they got a nice campaign headquarters over here. I drive by at night and I see a lot of people in there doing meetings. I see the operation running at full scale. This could be an intimidating factor that could outpsych your opponents. So a campaign headquarters is I believe, is one of those things that kind of sets you over the edge. But I've seen people run it out of their houses. They use an extra room. They'll use the cellar. You can use a friend's house, kind of an area that you can go to put all this material there. You're obviously going to also need a treasurer and a secretary. Your treasurer is going to help you with the financial end of it. A lot of the candidates are going to be so busy with the campaign that you kind of need that treasurer to help you out with the fundraising part of it. And they'll also help you out with how much the expenses will cost for a campaign headquarters, for desks, for printing, for a copy machine, phones. You might need landlines, electricity to run the place, landscape if you want to make it look nice on the outside, lawn signs, banners, the whole et cetera of running an election. That treasurer will help you out with that. The secretary is more on the secretarial side of it. Going to be able to do the minutes, somebody that's going to be able to do more of the bookkeeping, going to be more of an organized person that will say, okay, we did this time and we did this, and putting things together as a secretary. So, building an organization, candidate, campaign manager, co-campaign managers, campaign headquarters, treasurers, secretaries. You get into really now your organization. Okay, how do we really tie this into winning an election? What are we going to need? They're what it's called precinct captains. In some areas they call them wards. Some areas districts. Precinct captains, are basically different areas of your town, your city, your county, and they will have different responsibilities, and they'll be your point persons to allow you to get that information to the volunteers, which is the next step of the way. But those precinct captains, and remember, you can have somebody that overlaps. You could have somebody be your campaign manager, be one of your precinct captains, and also be the treasurer. So you can have somebody in a you have a lower scale election. You don't have as many volunteers helping you out. You need somebody to kind of overlap and do a few different duties. You can more certainly have your campaign manager be one of your precinct captains. Maybe that person lives in that particular area of the town or the city, and they know a lot of residents around the area. So your precinct captains, primarily you want to get somebody that kind of knows that area. Maybe they live in that area. Maybe they have a business in that area. So the precinct or the ward or the district that they're kind of representing is something that they know the back of their hand. They should know that area very, very well. They should know the landscape. They should know the houses. They should know where the streets are. And if they don't, you just have to learn them. You got to get those maps out. You put them up against the walls throughout the headquarter area, your room, and really study those maps. Study where these streets are, where the cross streets are, and what areas you're going to get involved in. I think this is knowing the law of the land, knowing where everything really is, and that captain should be able to go out and recruit other volunteers. You may be able to get a lot of volunteers just from putting the headquarters up. People could be driving by and they all of a sudden see, wow, so-and-so is running the campaign. I would be interested in helping them out. Maybe they can go to a website, and the website, obviously on the top of it could say volunteer. And you write in your email address and somebody could help you be a volunteer. So you can, as you're evolving your campaign over time, when you're first starting out, those volunteers might not just be there. But as you're canvassing your neighborhoods, as these captains are out there working it, helping you with flyer drops and going out to different areas, door knocking, you may acquire these volunteers over the course of your campaign. And that's what you really need to have doing. It's a snowball effect of just getting out there. But you can never get away from just you've got to get to the voter. And somehow or another, with this organization, you're going to get to that voter. There's all different variations of things that you can do, which is direct mail or flyer dropping or palm card dropping into their doorways or knocking on their doors and getting to these voters. And that's where you can start to carry over different people to help you with your campaign. You're going to need, your captains are also going to organize these phone banks. If you have phone numbers that you're going to call, different times of the night is a good time to call. Sometimes during the day you'd be leaving a lot of messages, but you'd have to get the nice lists for that. You also have email lists that you can do. In this day and age with the social media, is having some of your captains kind of help you out with getting that certain information and media out to the certain voters that are going to be out there. And there's so many different ways of doing that. You can't forget about lawn signs. Your captains may be responsible for those lawn signs getting to those different areas. Now, in different areas of the world, you have to also remember there's weather conditions. At different times of the year, I know in October, it can be very, very windy, and these lawn signs that you have out there that you're responsible for need to be propped up a little bit. Sometimes the wirings break off. Sometimes the wooden structures get all off. I've seen some serious storms in the middle of October going into your election. And even if you have an April election or a summer election, I've seen stuff get blown away. Or sometimes you show up and the sign's missing. It's down the street. So you have to remember and factor in that there's going to be weather conditions that could alter your sign being out there. Some municipalities won't allow you to start putting lawn signs out till 30 days prior to the election. Some 14 days, some 7 days. You need to find that information out at your city clerk's office, town clerk office, and find out when you can put if there's any ordinance out there putting lawn signs up. You're going to need your precinct captains to help you out with organizing and putting those signs in place. Bumper stickers. It's never too outdated to have bumper stickers, and I've seen them out there quite a bit on cars and trucks And I think it's important because people are going to see that name. They're going to see the lawn sign. They're going to see the bumper sticker. They're going to see the campaign headquarters with the banner. They're going to start getting stuff in the mail. They're going to get something in their doorway. You actually were at a forum and you were having a debate and they started seeing you. They may see you on TV, the local TV station. So you want to get connected. It's called the 3-touch rule. You want to 3-touch at some point, whether they get it through the mail, a lawn sign, that you actually knocked on their door, they saw you at a candidate night, they saw you walk in the neighborhood, whatever it is, you want to be able to be connected to that voter. And we talked a little bit about this in the last episode, is about that good voter list, the A voters, the super voters, the people that are going to go vote all the time. And inside that organization that you have, you need to figure out how to get to these different areas throughout your campaign. You have to have that timeline of down the stretch, the last 4 weeks of the election, the last 6 weeks of the election, 2 weeks out, okay, the day of the election. This is all in the internal structure of your campaign, your organization. So these are the different responsibilities that the volunteers and your captains will have inside that organization. But you can't falter the fact that you need this. You need the internal structure to help you, because as the candidate, if you get into bigger elections, you're running for Senate, you're running for state representative, you're going to need other people to be at other places at different times. And especially down the last few weeks of that election, you won't be able to do every single area. You'd have to have it covered at some point, and that's what the internal structure is. The printing consultant, I would advise to you to have a professional help you with some of this stuff. Different printing materials that you get out there, whether you do it either through the newspaper, whether you're doing your palm cards, your direct mail, having that professional consultant help you within your organization can really tailor it down to what that voter is really looking for. What are the issues that you have? What are you running off of? Why are you running? So these are all things inside that internal structure where I've seen in other races, I've seen a group of 5 or 6 people look like there's 30 people out there, and people think that because they have it all canvassed out in the town or city, and they're running a well-oiled machine, and it looks like there's 30 people. At the end of the day, when the election's over, it looked like there's 6 people involved. I've seen some big organizations really go out there and tailor this down and really know how to do this. They've been involved in other organizations, they've been involved in other races. Those are the people you need to get to ask questions on, okay, what this is going to work, or how can we tailor this on this side. Trial and errors. People that have lost elections, what did you do wrong? What is it that inside your organization that you didn't do right? You may be looking at the fact that it might not have been the right candidate, or it might not have been in the right race to do it. The timing would have been off. But the organizational structure is the key component to having behind you. You need to also find out time-wise how much dedication and responsibilities that you're going to get from these people. And along the lines of other things come up with other people. So building that organization, being involved in that organization, and understanding with all these top categories of being obviously the candidate, your campaign manager, co-campaign managers, campaign headquarters, or you use your own office, a place where everybody can meet and store all this material, your treasurer and secretary, your precinct captains, your different districts and wards, your volunteers, your responsibilities, and your printing consultant to help you out throughout the campaign. These are some of the topics that we went over today. There's obviously a lot of subtopics that we can bring in, but the overall structure of the internal is going to be something that you're going to need in place throughout your campaign to get you to election day. And obviously you're looking to win, so having the organization there for you, and making sure after the election's done is to help, is to say thank you to this group of people that will be helping you. I want to thank you for watching today on the show. Down here, and click on the bottom is a subscribe button, and will be more information and more shows talking about campaigns and how to win them. Thank you for watching today. Have a good one.